Have you ever imagined a place so bizarre that men lend their wives to friends and visitors? It seems crazy, doesn't it? But believe it or not, such a place exists. In the far reaches of the Russian Far East, a wild and mysterious land hides traditions passed down from generation to generation for centuries. Just like in Alaska, where the extreme climate shaped the lives of the natives, the indigenous peoples of Kamchatka, such as the Itelmen, preserve unique practices. Among the cultural practices of its inhabitants, there are ancient traditions that surprise and intrigue outsiders. The tradition of the eternal bonds strengthens alliances between families, ensuring support in difficult times. The Koryaks and Chukchis practiced wife-swapping, not only as hospitality but to create ties between tribes and avoid conflicts. These ancient traditions show how these peoples learned to survive in the extreme climate of Kamchatka, very similar to what we see in Alaska. Here, refusing to lend your wife could cause serious problems you could never imagine. And if that's not bizarre enough, imagine having to borrow another man's wife just because yours is sick. Unbelievable, right? Today, we'll explore the secrets of this isolated land of Russia and uncover mysteries that may challenge your understanding. Get ready to be surprised. Kamchatka is a vast peninsula located in the far east of Russia, surrounded by the Pacific and Arctic Oceans. The geography of the region is marked by majestic mountains, dense forests, and vast areas of tundra, elements that highlight its impressive natural beauty. This remote territory has no roads connecting it to the rest of the country, and access is only by plane or boat. Such geographical isolation has helped keep the nature and ecosystems almost untouched throughout the centuries. For the locals, Kamchatka is often referred to as the end of the world, not only because of its remote location, but also due to the profound sense of disconnection. Although it is part of Russia, the peninsula is more than 6,000 kilometers away from Moscow and has a 9-hour time difference from the capital. Geographically, Kamchatka is closer to Japan and Alaska, emphasizing its physical and cultural separation from the center of the country. This distance was crucial in shaping the way of life of its inhabitants. For centuries, Kamchatka remained practically inaccessible due to its challenging terrain and lack of infrastructure. The main point of entry is the city of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, isolated from the rest of Russia by land. Among the most intriguing and controversial practices is a form of hospitality that fascinated many travelers. This hospitality goes beyond the simple offering of food and shelter. It is a custom known as samogenost, or rather, the sharing of wives, as a gesture of friendship and respect. Among the Koryaks and Chukchis, this custom allowed men to share their wives with close friends or honored visitors. Far beyond a simple tradition, this practice served to strengthen bonds between different groups and families, as well as to ensure the continuity of family lines in case of infertility or the death of a spouse. This custom, which may seem shocking at first glance, is an extreme form of welcome, reflecting unique cultural values that prioritize survival, generosity, and the building of social ties. And if you were invited to participate in this custom, how would you react? Refusing the offer to spend the night with a host's wife was not simply a matter of personal preference. Such refusal could be seen as a serious insult, capable of creating tension and conflict within the community. Besides sharing as a gesture of friendship, there was also the lending of wives during travels. If a wife were ill or unable to accompany her husband, it was common for the man to ask to borrow another man's wife for the journey. This practice not only ensured companionship and assistance during the trip, but also made sure that the group's social and practical responsibilities were maintained. If a borrowed woman became pregnant during the trip, the child would be considered socially as the child of the man who accompanied her, regardless of who the biological father was. Although the practice was common among certain tribes, it varied widely depending on the group and the circumstances. Some tribes practiced it more frequently, while others applied it only in specific situations, such as at ceremonial events or as a way to seal agreements and alliances. In many cultures, the consent of the wives involved was also an important part of the tradition, highlighting the role of each individual in this complex system of relationships. Furthermore, not all tribes viewed this practice the same way. Some might adopt different customs or even reject the idea of wife swapping as a form of social interaction. This shows how vast and multifaceted the cultural diversity among the tribes was. Over time, with the arrival of foreign explorers and missionaries, many of these traditions began to transform or disappear. Contact with other cultures, especially those that brought new ideas about religion, morality, and social organization, led some native peoples to abandon this practice. Colonization and the imposition of new social norms eventually caused the disappearance of many traditional customs, including wife swapping. Today, people view these customs differently. For some, they are reminders of a past when the tribes lived in harmony with their ancestral beliefs and traditions. For others, they are practices that have been unfairly forgotten or distorted over time. Let's talk about a surprising tradition. Among the Itelmen, one of the ancient indigenous tribes of Kamchatka, the tradition of the eternal bonds is a deeply rooted practice that symbolizes the strength of human and spiritual connections. These bonds transcend ordinary relationships of friendship or kinship, representing a lasting and almost sacred alliance between individuals or families. The eternal bonds played a crucial role in the social structure of the Itelmen. More than just emotional connections, these bonds had practical implications and acted as a pact of mutual support. The families that established these bonds committed to helping each other in times of need, such as during food shortages or the difficult hunting journeys. Additionally, these bonds strengthened cohesion within communities, creating a sense of unity and solidarity. The alliances could be renewed through ceremonies, where symbolic rituals reinforced the promise of mutual support and respect. These pacts ensured that the Itelmen remained united and resilient in a naturally challenging environment like that of Kamchatka. This tradition is a testament to the importance the Itelmen placed on community, cooperation, and shared survival. Even today, in some communities, the essence of the eternal bonds is still celebrated as a cultural heritage that promotes a sense of belonging and continuity. The history of the indigenous tribes of Kamchatka dates back thousands of years. Ancient peoples, originating from Paleo-Asiatic migrations, arrived in this inhospitable land more than 12,000 years ago. Among them, the Koryak, Itelmen, Chukchi, and even stand out. Each of these tribes developed a deep connection with the hostile environment, creating unique ways of life and traditions that still survive today. The Koryaks, nomadic reindeer herders from the north, are known for their symbiotic relationship with reindeer. For them, reindeer are more than just a resource. They are the foundation of all existence. These animals not only provide food and clothing, but also serve as transportation across the vast frozen tundras of Kamchatka. The Itelmen, who live in the south of the peninsula, developed a lifestyle more centered around rivers and the sea. Masters of fishing, these indigenous people depend on salmon, which has been the backbone of their subsistence for centuries. Seals and other marine animals also complement the diet and traditions of these skilled fishermen. At the heart of this simple life, housing has always been essential for survival. The tribes of Kamchatka built shelters designed to withstand the extreme climate. The Koryaks erected yarangas, tents made of reindeer skins, lightweight and easy to transport. These tents are more than simple shelters. They are a symbol of the mobility and resilience of nomadic peoples. However, for the Itelmen, whose lifestyle is more sedentary, the choice of housing is different. They opt for zemlyanki, semi-subterranean homes that provide protection during the harsh Siberian winters. Dug into the ground and covered with wood and grass, these homes are true fortresses against the extreme cold. The indigenous tribes of Kamchatka cultivate a deep and spiritual connection with the volcanic land where they have lived for millennia. For these communities, the volcanoes are much more than simple geological formations. They are living entities, the homes of ancestral spirits who directly influence their lives and the fate of their lands. In the cosmology of these tribes, volcanoes are seen as portals between the physical world and the spiritual one. It is believed that the spirits of the ancestors inhabit the interior of these fire mountains, observing and shaping events in the world of the living. Therefore, volcanoes are revered and treated with great respect. When a volcano erupts, the tribes do not see the event merely as a natural phenomenon, but as a sign from the spirits. Depending on the intensity and type of eruption, it can be interpreted as a warning, approval, or even a punishment from the spirits. These interpretations guide important decisions within the communities, such as relocations or changes in activities. Animism, the belief that all elements of nature possess a spiritual essence, is at the center of the worldview of these tribes. It's not only the volcanoes that have souls. Rivers, forests, rocks, and hot springs are also considered living beings with which humans must maintain a relationship of respect and balance. To maintain this harmony with the spirits of nature, the tribes perform sacred ceremonies and rituals throughout the year. These rituals not only preserve the spiritual connection, but also reinforce cultural identity and social cohesion within the communities. One of the most important rituals rituals is the offering to the volcanoes. Before significant activities such as hunting or long journeys, members of the tribes often make pilgrimages to the base of a volcano, where they offer food, tobacco, or small personal items to the spirits. These offerings are seen as gestures of gratitude, intended to ensure the protection and benevolence of the spirits. Shamans play a crucial role in this spiritual universe, acting as mediators between the physical and spiritual worlds. Before major decisions, such as an expedition or a change in season, tribes consult the shamans, who interpret signs from nature, including volcanic activity. Through rituals involving chants and the use of medicinal plants, they enter trance states to communicate with the spirits of the volcanoes and bring guidance to the community. The climate of Kamchatka is as extreme and diverse as its geography, creating an environment that challenges but also fascinates those who face it. The combination of latitude, rugged terrain, and the influence of ocean currents creates an impressive variety of microclimates and unique weather phenomena. Although the peninsula is classified as subarctic, this simple definition doesn't do justice to the complexity of the region's climate. Depending on where you are in Kamchatka, the conditions can vary drastically, ranging from maritime to continental or from alpine to coastal. One of the most striking aspects is the extreme contrast between the seasons. Winters are harsh, with temperatures reaching -40°C or lower in inland areas, accompanied by heavy snowstorms that can isolate entire communities for days or weeks. The landscape turns into a white desert, with snow layers reaching several meters deep. Summers, though short, can surprise with heat in certain areas. In more sheltered regions, temperatures can exceed 30°C, although in most areas, the summers are cool, with averages between 10 and 15°C. This variability is part of Kamchatka's essence, where, in a single day, it is possible to go from a cloudy coast, cross a sunny valley, and end up on a snowy mountain peak. A typical weather phenomenon in Kamchatka is the wind, known as purga, a cold and violent wind that can arise suddenly, especially in winter. The purga can drastically reduce visibility and cause the wind chill to plummet, making it dangerous for anyone venturing outdoors unprepared. The extreme weather conditions shape not only the environment, but also the local flora and fauna. The plants have short life cycles, making the most of the brief summer, and the animals in the region have developed unique adaptations to survive in these harsh environments. For the human inhabitants, the climate of Kamchatka presents daily challenges. Traditional agriculture is not viable in much of the peninsula, forcing communities to rely on activities such as fishing, hunting, and gathering. Kamchatka is a true geological paradise, home to one of the largest concentrations of active volcanoes in the world, with more than 300 volcanoes scattered across its expanse, of which approximately 30 are in constant activity. The peninsula offers an unparalleled natural spectacle. This region is part of the famous Pacific Ring of Fire, an area known for its intense tectonic and volcanic activity. The volcanic activity in Kamchatka is so intense that eruptions are regular events, continuously shaping the landscape of the peninsula. Each eruption brings a transformation of the environment, creating new rock formations, altering the course of rivers, and reshaping entire valleys. This constant dynamic makes Kamchatka a unique natural laboratory for geologists and volcanologists from all over the world. Among the most notable volcanoes in the region is Kluchevskaya Sopka, the highest not only in Kamchatka but in all of Eurasia, standing at an impressive 4,750 meters in height. This giant is known for its frequent eruptions, which can be observed from miles away, lighting up the night sky with spectacular displays of lava and ash. Another fascinating volcano is Kronotsky, with its nearly perfect conical shape, often compared to Mount Fuji in Japan. A particularly intriguing geothermal phenomenon in Kamchatka are the acid lakes. Formed in the craters of active or recently extinct volcanoes, these lakes have extremely acidic waters due to the constant release of volcanic gases. The pH of these waters can reach levels as low as 1 or 2, making them completely inhospitable to most forms of aquatic life. The coloration of these lakes ranges from bright turquoise to emerald green, creating a surreal contrast with the surrounding volcanic landscape. The Valley of Geysers in Kamchatka is undoubtedly one of the most impressive natural wonders, not only of Russia, but of the entire world. Discovered only in 1941 by geologist Tatyana Ustinova, this hidden valley quickly became one of Kamchatka's most precious treasures, attracting scientists, photographers, and adventurers from all over the globe. Located within the Kronotsky Nature Reserve, the Valley of Geysers is the second largest geyser field in the world, surpassed only by Yellowstone National Park in the United States. States. The valley extends for about 6 kilometers along the Geyser River and contains more than 40 active geysers, as well as numerous hot springs, boiling mud pots, and fumaroles. Each geyser in the valley has its own unique personality. Some erupt at predictable regular intervals, while others are more capricious in their timing. The eruptions vary in size and intensity, with some geysers launching boiling water and steam up to 40 meters into the air. One of the most famous geysers in the valley is Volcanic, known for its spectacular eruptions that can reach heights of up to 30 meters. Another notable geyser is Troinoi, which, as its name suggests, consists of 3 separate openings that erupt in sequence. The wildlife in the valley and surrounding areas is equally impressive. Brown bears are frequently seen foraging on the slopes, while Arctic foxes and marmots can be spotted in higher areas. The valley is also an important habitat for several species of birds, including the Steller's eagle, one of the largest eagles in the world. The black sand beaches of Kamchatka offer a surreal contrast to the blue of the Pacific Ocean. These beaches, formed by the erosion of volcanic rocks, are not only visually stunning but also home to a variety of marine life, including sea lions and several species of seabirds. The climate of Kamchatka is as extreme and diverse as its geography, creating an environment that challenges but at the same time fascinates those who face it. The combination of latitude, rugged terrain, and the influence of ocean currents generates an impressive variety of microclimates and unique weather phenomena. Although the peninsula is classified as subarctic, this simple definition does not do justice to the complexity of the region's climate. Depending on where you are in Kamchatka, conditions can vary drastically, ranging from maritime to continental, or from alpine to coastal. One of the most striking aspects is the extreme contrast between the seasons. Winters are harsh, with temperatures dropping to minus 40 degrees Celsius or lower in interior areas, accompanied by heavy snowstorms that can isolate entire communities for days or weeks. The landscape transforms into a white desert, with snow layers reaching several meters deep. Summers, although short, can surprise with heat in certain areas. In more protected regions, temperatures can exceed 30 degrees Celsius, although in most areas, summers are cool, with averages between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius. This variability is part of Kamchatka's essence, where in a single day, you can go from a cloudy coast, cross a sunlit valley, and end up on a snow-covered mountain peak. A typical climatic phenomenon of Kamchatka is the winds known as purga, icy and violent winds that can suddenly arise, especially in winter. The purga can drastically reduce visibility and cause the wind chill to plummet, making it dangerous for those venturing outdoors unprepared. The extreme weather conditions shape not only the environment, but also the local flora and fauna. Plants have short life cycles, making the most of the brief summer, and the animals in the region have developed unique adaptations to survive in these harsh environments. For the human inhabitants, the climate of Kamchatka presents daily challenges. Traditional agriculture is unfeasible in much of the peninsula, forcing communities to rely on activities like fishing, hunting, and gathering. And the video ends here. Please share your thoughts about the most remote land in Russia in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video appearing on your screen now. I'm sure you'll enjoy the content. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.